Beckman. Laura.
Hi, Kenny. Music City has a distinct cheese flavor this weekend. We've been here since Friday, and everywhere we've gone, it's been a sea of Packer green. Mike Mularkey warned his team that's what they should expect inside the stadium today. We're already hearing those Go Pack Go chants, but he issued a challenge to them saying, let's make this a statement game. We want to show the league, our fans, ourselves, that we are relevant. We have to beat this team. We have to win a game like this at home.
Packer jerseys, cheeseheads throughout the stands. Titans won the toss, elected to defer. An onside kick to start the game from Ryan Suckup. And it is Joe Thomas who recovers for the Packers.
Really good play by Joe Thomas, and you can see a little bit at this kick. It's something different. You're looking for some type of clue. There's a little bit of slide right there towards the middle of the field. This is a middle onside kick. You're trying to get your guys down there to block. A lot of times it'll be the kicker's responsibility to recover that. Well done by Joe Thomas to get up there and make that recovery.
By the way, Ryan Suckup now 1 for 20 in his career on onside kick attempts.
I think that Coach Mike Mularkey sends a great message right there. You just heard Laura talk about the importance of this game to send a message league-wide. That goes to show your head coach has the confidence in you to come out and try a surprise onside to start the game.
So Aaron Rodgers and the Packers start from the Titans' 49-yard line. The return of James Starks. He's missed the last 4 games, takes the handoff from Rodgers and gains 3 down to the 46-yard line. Brian Arakpo, the tackle.
And when you don't have a running game that you can lean on a little bit, it puts a lot of pressure on your quarterback. So Aaron Rodgers probably as happy as anybody to have James Starks back in the lineup, somebody he can just turn around and hand the football off to. They brought Ty Montgomery in. We've seen Devontae Adams. You know, Aaron Ripkowski has got some time. Don Jackson's got some time. But now they've got a little bit of consistency with James Starks back.
Jackson inactive today. 2 tight ends set. On 2nd down and 7, again it is Starks, and he works his way inside the 44-yard line. So 3rd down coming up for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, and a lot of the guys we talked to feel maybe the best front 5 they've had up there in a while with that offensive line group. It will be key for them to get James Starks going. And, you know, Mike McCarthy talked about 10-plus touches right around in that area. He's off to a start where he could have more than that.
3rd down and 4. On the opening drive for the Packers, they are 2nd in the league on 3rd down this season. They must get to the 39-yard line, and they will not, as the pass was intended for Tennessee native Randall Cobb, so the Packers go 3 and out.
Yeah, and not limited today. Randall Cobb right out there from the start of the game, and this is a throw that Aaron Rodgers has to make. He's beyond the 1st down marker, has it low and away. Not a lot of pressure in Aaron Rodgers' face at that time. I think he just missed that throw.
Mark Mariani back deep for the Titans. He lets it go.
I don't think he had possession. Yeah, it's going to be a touchback. Dimitri Goodson had it, but he never controlled it, and he slid in and he touched the end line.
One more look.
Well, special teams was an issue last week covering kicks, and this week it starts off. They make it a good job with the surprise onside by Joe Thomas to get that covered. But, boy, they could have had the Tennessee Titans backed up.
And slid in the end zone. By rule, that is a touchback. 1st down. Timeout.
It is a touchback. There is an injured Packer down towards the middle of the field. Linebacker Jake Ryan. Tennessee Titans will start from their 20 when we return.
All right, that's transparency.
Tennessee Titans go to work from their 20-yard line. There's the leading tackler for the Packers this season, Jake Ryan, injured during the punt. So Joe Thomas, who recovered the onside kick to start the game, is in for Ryan. Penalty markers prior to the snap. Jeff Triplett, our referee today.
So in the punt coverage, here's Jake Ryan right here. So he kind of gets rolled up from the back right there and kind of twisted awkwardly.
Defense, number 76. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Now, from that spot where we saw him get rolled up on, he got about 15 yards downfield before he took a knee and then was down.
So Ryan 10-2 on the sideline. Mike Daniels, the penalty. First down and 5 from the 25-yard line. And DeMarco Murray breaks free across midfield. One man to beat inside the 20. And he will take it all the way 75 yards on the first play from scrimmage for the Tennessee Titans.
I really didn't expect a chunk run like that to start the game. This Packer defense, #1 in the NFL against the rush. That's just a great job getting some double teams. They get Mike Daniels spun around, can't react back quick enough. And then there is nobody there at the linebacker or secondary level in run support. Once DeMarco Murray broke through the line of scrimmage, there was not another Packer defender there.
The Packers allow 76 yards per game on the ground. Murray goes for 75 on the first play.
Got to buckle down the rest of the game. They can only give up one more yard.
Ryan Suckup for the extra point. His kick is good. What a start here in Tennessee. An onside kick to start the game, and then on the first Titans play from scrimmage, a 75-yard touchdown run. Onside kick, a 3-and-out, a punt, a penalty, and a 75-yard touchdown run.
Now, remember, we talked to Aaron Rodgers. He talked about low energy on the sideline last week against Indianapolis. That started after the opening kickoff was returned for a touchdown. He said it just took the wind out of the team, out of the crowd at Lambeau Field. This is very close to being similar to that. I mean, a 75-yard touchdown run, the first touch of the ball. How does Green Bay respond this week to an early touchdown?
Right, last week a 99-yard touchdown on the opening kickoff. So Aaron Rodgers and the Packers back out onto the field. And last week it quieted the crowd in Lambeau. This week it quiets the heavy Green Bay portion of the crowd here at Nissan Stadium.
Exactly. And a missed opportunity by the Packers. They recover the surprise onside kick. Aaron Rodgers misses Randall Cobb on that third down. So, you know, great field position wasted. And then the special teams miscue, and they had an opportunity to down the ball around the 1-yard line.
From the 25-yard line on first down, Ty Montgomery gains 5 out to the 30.
Well, we talked about James Stark and the running game for the Green Bay Packers. Jarrell Casey, one of the guys that will be key in trying to limit Green Bay and what they're doing in that running game. They've got big bodies up front. Defensive coordinator Dick LeBeau. I mean, it is so much fun talking with a gentleman who has so much history and knowledge of the game, has put together a nice group of defensive players here.
Packers right guard TJ Lang is down.
And it just keeps, the bad news keeps coming for the Green Bay Packers right now. And we talked about a lot of the guys in that locker room feeling that this was really one of the best offensive line groups that they've had. So hopefully TJ Lang can shake this one off and be back in the game. He's standing up right here.
Replaced by Don Barclay. Green Bay without the former Titan Jared Cook. Casey Treader is out. Clay Matthews. Second down and 5. Rodgers throws. Cobb slipped.
Right now, somebody has to make a play for the Green Bay Packers. Everything has gone against them at the start of the game. And you need one of your guys to step up and make a play. That's, you know, Randall Cobb, just, you got to get your nose over your toes. You know, you're leaning back. Your feet give out, they kick away.
Third down and 5 for Green Bay. 4 receivers set. Montgomery in the backfield. Rodgers on 3rd and 5, and it's complete to Jordy Nelson for a first down and more. Dragged out of bounds just shy of midfield, so the Packers pick up their first down of the afternoon.
It's one of the most impressive things that Aaron Rodgers does, and Dick LeBeau called it the way he flips the ball, you know, off of different platforms. You know, sometimes he doesn't have both feet on the ground, but he can just flip it. And in that situation, he's got pressure right in his face. That's a long throw to the outside to Jordy Nelson. Not many guys can make that throw besides Aaron Rodgers.
20-yard catch and run. Penalty flag, and the play is blown dead. False start.
He's still first down.
It's on the left tackle, David Bakhtiari.
Doesn't look like a team that has scored points in the first quarter every game this season, Kenny. They've come out and started very, very slowly, both sides of the ball and special teams.
And they had scored on their opening possession in 7 of 8 games. Coming into this one, on the delay, it's Montgomery, another flag.
Holding, number 65 offense. And penalties decline. Second down.
Left guard, Lane Taylor.
Lane Taylor working in pass protection. And then as the run goes, it's a draw play to Ty Montgomery. That's kind of a retrace. You know, you can call those all day long.
Second down and 13. Packers empty the backfield. Three receivers to the right. And Rodgers pass sails away from the intended receiver, Jordy Nelson. 3rd and 13 upcoming.
A 3-man rush by Tennessee, so they're dropping 8 in coverage, and Aaron Rodgers trying to thread this one through 3 defenders. You can see there, linebacker, nickel back, safety over the top, trying to fit that in that small window to Jordy Nelson.
Titans fans on their feet. 3rd down and 13. Packers must get to the Tennessee 40. Rodgers on 3rd down, can't find anyone, lost the football. Packers recover, but will punt it away. Daquan Jones with the pressure on Aaron Rodgers.
You heard referee Jeff Triplett talk about grasping control in the pocket. Daquan Jones coming around on the outside, so grasping control. Looks like Aaron Rodgers trying to throw that away to try and get the incomplete call.
Shown back to punt for the 2nd time. Mariani back deep. Calls for the fair catch at the 16-yard line. Titans 1 play on offense. They get the ball back, leading by 7. Who won the toss, elected to defer. Attempted an onside kick. Packers recovered, went 3 and out. And then on the Titans' first play from scrimmage, DeMarco Murray, 75-yard TD run. More flags.
Yeah, I love that. Taylor Lewan, he's getting after somebody right now. You know, you come in and you make sure you send a message. Now, they've got to be careful because this crew has, what is it, Kenny? They have half the ejections.
5 of the 10 ejections in the NFL this season from Jeff Triplett's crew.
So I love the fact right now Taylor Lewan gets up. He's not letting anybody touch his quarterback like that. Everybody's going to be protective of your quarterback in this situation.
4 penalty markers on the field as Triplett and his crew sort things out. There's LaTroy Guyon, who made contact with Marcus Mariota.
Wow. Wow. Looks like Taylor Lewan may have been ejected. He's coming off the field.
There are 3 fouls on the play. Encroachment, number 60, defense. That penalty's declined. Personal foul, number 68 of the defense. That penalty is accepted, hitting the quarterback after the play is dead. After the play is over, personal foul, number 77 of the offense. Contact with an official, and he is disqualified from the game.
Wow.
We will penalize both 15-yard fouls, and it will be 1st and 25 for the offense.
So Taylor Lewan has been ejected for contact with an official. As we bring in Mike Pereira from Los Angeles. Mike, what did you see?
It's interesting, you know, obviously something done with the official here as he's trying to break it up. And here's the actual issue. Both of these penalties, 15-yard penalties, are going to be assessed because if there is contact with the game official, that does not count as multiple fouls where you enforce one of the two. Since one involves contact with the official, you're going to get 30 yards worth of penalties here.
The contact was made with the back judge, Steve Freeman.
Yeah, it should be a net 0 though, right? We have the neutral zone infraction by LaTroy Guyon. Then we have the unnecessary roughness, not on 68 but on 98, LaTroy Guyon. And then you have contact with the official. So as Mike Pereira said, that has to be enforced as well. So it should be 15 against Green Bay, 15 back against Tennessee. So it shouldn't be 1st and 25 as announced. It should be 1st and 10.
And as you mentioned, Darryl, this crew leads the league in ejections. This is number 6.
You can see right there, and this was something that when we sat down with Jason McCourty, you know about the officials. You know, this is one of the things he talked to us about.
So on 1st down and 25, it is Murray. As we head back to Los Angeles once again, Mike.
Yeah, the reason it's 1st and 25 is both of those penalties do get enforced. And you're right, the yardage would seem to offset. But since that second foul was contact against an official, that means it basically rolls the down. And so the play is over, and that becomes 1st and 25. If they were just offsetting personal fouls, it'd be 1st and 10. But since it wasn't against official, that makes it 1st and 25.
All right, thanks, Mike. Dennis Kelly in at left tackle for Taylor Lewan as DeMarco Murray found a hole and takes it out to the 27-yard line. Micah Hyde the tackle as Murray gains 11.
And this is one of the things that we're seeing in the NFL this season. 2nd and long situations, teams being confident to call runs in those situations. And more times than not, we've seen some good runs, some 8, 12-yard runs in 2nd and long situations.
Mariota on 3rd down, throws, and he finds his man for a 1st down. It is Tajay Sharp, the rookie out of UMass, 21-yard pass play.
There's a nice touch on the throw by Marcus Mariota because he's got to get it over the top of Ladarius Gunter and then in front of HaHa Clinton Dix, who's the safety.
So the Titans move the chains after facing a 2nd down and 24 a couple of plays ago. From the 47 with 3 tight ends. Off the play action. Mariota complete to the tight end, Delaney Walker. And Walker is inside the 15 and then brought down at the 11-yard line by Joe Thomas. A 41-yard catch and run.
A surprise to see this Green Bay Packer defense giving up the explosive plays here earlier in the game. The big run to DeMarco Murray to start the game. And now here, Delaney Walker. Kentrell Bryce is in position, but you can't go for the ball at that spot. You're not going to be able to make the play on the ball. What you have to do is guard against the big run after the catch.
First and 10 from the Packers 12. Titans averaging nearly 30 yards per play. Timeout was taken by the Packers prior to the snap.
Green Bay, they're first.
Looks like they
timeout.
may have had only 10 men on the field. So Mike McCarthy
Reset the game clock to 7:39.
uses his first timeout.
7:39.
Midway through the first quarter here in Nashville. What a wild and crazy 7.5 minutes it's been.
Unbelievable the way that Green Bay has come out and played to start this game. I mean, a team that's really struggled the last couple of weeks, and they're coming down here. And you know it's going to be a statement game. You know what Mike Mularkey is thinking for the Tennessee Titans. He's going to have his guys ready to play. He's going to use fuel to the fire all these Packer fans that have traveled down here. And, hey, this is not even going to be like a home game for us. So they have used all that emotion right now, and just shocked that Green Bay has given up these big explosive plays to start this game.
Packers went 3 and out on their first possession. They allow a 75-yard rushing touchdown. And then some costly penalties. And the Titans have their left tackle ejected. And now Tennessee on the move from the Green Bay 12-yard line. Murray in the backfield. Matthews in motion. DeMarco Murray. Inside the 10 to the 9-yard line, brought down by the rookie out of Stanford, Blake Martinez. DeMarco Murray tying a franchise record. Earl Campbell, 5 straight games with a rushing touchdown for the Houston Oilers back in 79 and 83.
And there's some nice company to share a franchise record with. Grew up watching Earl Campbell play. Absolutely unbelievable as a runner in the NFL.
And DeMarco Murray now with 88 yards in the first quarter has surpassed Ezekiel Elliott. He is now the NFL's leading rusher. Murray looking to throw. End zone. Walker. Diving catch for a Tennessee Titans touchdown.
Well, we saw this play at practice on Friday, and they ran it to the left. Thank goodness they were able to run it to the right this time, because I don't know if I call it with DeMarco Murray running left. But Mike Mularkey is pulling out all the stops. Here's Delaney Walker right here. That's who's going to get the touchdown. DeMarco Murray does a good job selling it. He tucks it away. It's just enough to bring Morgan Burnett up. Sometimes on these halfback passes, you'll see the running back get the ball, and he'll keep it in a throwing posture as soon as he gets it. So just that little tuck underneath by DeMarco Murray forces Morgan Burnett to respect the run. He moves up a little bit, and Delaney Walker sneaks past him.
5th touchdown of the season for Walker. So you have Aaron Rodgers and Marcus Mariota, Super Bowl champion, Heisman Trophy winner, and DeMarco Murray has the first touchdown pass in the game.
Just the way you scripted it. But how about the play calling by Mike Mularkey? The onside kick to start the game, a halfback pass down in the red zone. This is definitely, he's coaching this game in his mind as the statement game as well, not just challenging his guys to go out and play well.
Suck up the extra point. 14-0 Titans. They lose their left tackle. They had a 2nd down and 24, some big plays, and then Murray to Walker. What a crazy first quarter here in Nashville, Tennessee. Packers trail 14-0.
Well, just kind of fallen up over the last couple of weeks for Green Bay, and you know, it seems such a positive atmosphere when we sat down and talked to everybody yesterday, and I did not see this start coming at all. This is mind-boggling to me how well Tennessee has played and how poorly Green Bay has played to start this game.
Packers will start from their 25-yard line. Downstairs to Laura.
I'm going to now add injury to the insult Daryl's talking about with Green Bay. Never a good sign when the cart comes out twice within 5 minutes of the game starting. Right guard T.J. Lang was carted off with a left ankle injury. Couldn't even put any pressure on that foot getting into the cart. Linebacker Jake Ryan also in the locker room, also carted off with a left ankle injury, Kenny.
All right, thanks, Laura. Don Barclay still in at right guard for T.J. Lang. Packers on their first 2 possessions, only 1 first down. They've punted twice. From the 25, Rodgers overthrows Nelson.
And one of the things that I saw in the Indianapolis game last week for Green Bay was how tight, how well they played in the man coverage. And Dick LeBeau, his style, a little bit of fire zone, so you're going to have that zone element to it. You're going to have some man. It's going to be interesting today to watch and see how he elects to play the Green Bay Packer wide receiver group in coverage, because I thought they struggled in man-to-man to get open against Indianapolis.
Rodgers has started the game 1 of 5. 2nd and 10. Again, it is Montgomery. And he goes nowhere, gain of a yard, maybe 2. So the Packers now facing a 3rd down and long.
A lot of emotions out here on the field right now. Everybody's got to, it's an emotional game, but you've got to play it smart. We talked about the ejection to Taylor Lewan, having contact with an official. I love the emotion that he showed, protecting his quarterback, but you have to be smart. He knew that Jeff Triplett's crew led the league with ejections. It was spoken to the team this week. You got to be smart in those situations. Control your emotions.
3rd down and 8. Packers must get to the 35 for a first down. Rodgers in trouble. Down he goes. Back at the 17-yard line. Kevin Byard, the rookie out of Middle Tennessee State.
A lot of people singing the praises of Kevin Byard this week as we're up here visiting a guy that they were shocked was not invited to the combine and has just been a nice addition to this team. There's the pressure off the edge. And again, the tight man coverage. Aaron Rodgers has nowhere to go with the football.
First sack in the NFL for Byard. Mariani from the 26. Another flag as he's tackled at the 39-yard line by Joe Thomas. 13 on the return. And we will check once again with Jeff Triplett.
During the return, holding number 50, return team. 10-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
That's on the ex-Packer, Nate Palmer. Titans by 14. Back in a moment. Big plays on the last Tennessee Titans drive. Delaney Walker gains 41, and then he's the recipient of the DeMarco Murray touchdown pass, a former Cowboy to an ex-49er.
Looked much better than the one he threw on Friday afternoon.
Sure did. Titans with touchdowns on their first 2 possessions. Start from their 29-yard line. And this is the Heisman Trophy winner. Derrick Henry took the handoff from the 2014 Heisman Trophy winner Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, and he was, he injured his calf in pregame against San Diego. So, we didn't think we were going to see Derrick Henry today, and all of a sudden Friday at practice you're seeing him get the reps. So out in that lineup again today, and we talked about Mike Mularkey wanting to upgrade the offensive line, get a featured back. He does that with DeMarco Murray, and then Derrick Henry sitting there in the 2nd round for you in the draft. You grab him as well. This is a very physical 1-2 punch for this ground game in Tennessee.
Titans send in 3 tight ends. Here's one of them on the swing pass. It's Walker. And Delaney Walker with a huge first quarter. That 41-yard catch and run, the touchdown reception, and now he picks up 14.
And Dom Capers must be so frustrated right now because one of the things he talked to us about was the key guys that we have to stop. Obviously, DeMarco Murray and the run game, but then we've got to keep our eyes on Delaney Walker, and both of these guys have started this game with huge plays.
A Pro Bowler last season when he caught 94 balls, 3 here in the first quarter against the Green Bay Packers. First and 10, 48-yard line. This is Henry. Henry to midfield for a gain of 2. Under 4 minutes remaining, first quarter here in Nashville. There's Clay Matthews missing his 3rd consecutive game. Uncle Bruce, of course, played here in Tennessee, 19 years with the Oilers and Titans franchise.
Yeah, unbelievable offensive lineman for those franchises. Uncle Bruce.
Dad Clay, 19 NFL seasons as well. Second down and 8. Again, it is Henry. Gains 2 more. Blake Martinez the tackle. Third down and 6 coming up. Down to Laura.
I know there was so much talk last week from Aaron Rodgers about the energy, about the juice. That last defensive time when they came onto the bench, the one who was bringing the juice was linebacker coach Winston Moss, who brought that defense together, yelling at them, simplify everything, do your job, and bring some emotion to it.
Moss, the associate head coach, handles the linebackers as well. Third down and 6. He lost Jake Ryan early. Ryan replaced by Joe Thomas. Mariota's pass complete. It's Delaney Walker again. His 4th reception and a Titans first down.
I like Winston Moss's message to the team: simplify everything, do your job. This football is still blocking and tackling. It's really what it comes down to. That's just a poor effort right there. You've got 2 guys to take down Delaney Walker. Now he's out in the open. That's one of the better stiff arms you will ever see to actually pick up Kentrell Brice and drive him backwards.
And now another injured Packers defender. It's strong safety Morgan Burnett. Delaney Walker, 4 receptions for 79 yards and a touchdown.
And Morgan Burnett was part of that combination that came up to make the tackle. They end up colliding into each other. He goes low. You can see right there as his teammate comes in. Dimitri Goodson. Probably a little bit of a pinched nerve for Morgan Burnett on that hit.
Mariota rolling to his right. Now he throws, and the catch is made out of bounds at the 26-yard line is Rishard Matthews.
That's nice composure there. Don't force anything. One of the things that Marcus Mariota has to work on are the turnovers. Those have been the backbreakers for this Tennessee Titan team. So I like the decision there. He had 2 guys with some tight coverage. He didn't try to fit it in tight, just waited for another one of his receivers to get open.
Over 200 yards of offense. Titans averaging 16 yards per play. Matthews gained 9, second and 1. The fake toss to Murray. Instead, it is Henry. But it did not fool Jaron Elliott, who makes the tackle.
And recognition right there, understanding who's in the backfield. You've got Derrick Henry and DeMarco Murray in together. That's not your traditional fullback. Jalston Fowler lined up there. That's actually Derrick Henry, a running back. So good recognition, understanding what could come out the backside by Jaron Elliott.
Loss of 2 on the play, third down and 3. Mariota on third down again. It is Walker. Delaney Walker has another Titans first down on his 5th catch of this first quarter. 19-yard pickup, first and goal for the Titans.
Now when he motioned in, I thought they were going to run a crack play, and they actually go to a pass play. How do you let a free release happen to Delaney Walker? I mean, there's nobody disrupting his release at all.
Is eligible. Number 71 is eligible.
This is one of the things that Don Capers talked to his guys about. They're going to get into some jumbo situations. Make sure you know who's eligible and who's not eligible pre-snap. Taylor Lewan had a touchdown catch earlier this season.
And he's been ejected. Dennis Kelly is eligible. Mariota to the end zone. Touchdown, Anthony Fasano.
They have the Green Bay Packers so much on their heels on both sides of the ball, not just this Packer defense. Anthony Fasano at the end of the line right here is just one of those classic plays, show hard play action, kind of get yourself lost, sneak out the back door, ha-ha Clinton Dix. Just a little bit too late to recognize that.
Second touchdown of the season for Fasano. Last time these teams met, 2012 at Lambeau, Packers took a 55-0 lead. Different story 4 years later in Nashville. 21-0 Titans. Tennessee with a touchdown on all three first quarter possessions.
I tell you right now, Mike Mularkey and offensive coordinator Terry Robisky are phenomenal with their play calling right now.
Well, tomorrow night, National Geographic invites you to go to Mars. Join humankind's greatest adventure. Find out how we made Mars home. The new series Mars premieres tomorrow night only on National Geographic. Well, Darryl, you talked about it. Packers allow the kickoff return for a touchdown to start the game last week, and similar shock today on the 75-yard run by DeMarco Murray on the Titans' first play from scrimmage.
But there was a little bit of a response last week
right
against Indianapolis. You know, Aaron Rodgers and his group go down and get the field goal after that to get it to 7-3. They are being outplayed in every single phase of the game here this afternoon.
Titans have scored at least 26 points each of the last 5 weeks. 36 and 35 in their last 2 games. 21 in the first quarter this afternoon. Marco Murray, first pass attempt in either the NFL or in college. Lewan ejected for the contact with the official. Packers 3 drives, 3 punts. And how about this? Last time Green Bay trailed by 21 points in the first quarter, 1986. In a game against the Giants nearly 30 years ago. 8 seconds remaining in the quarter. First and 10 for Green Bay from the 25-yard line. Rodgers to Nelson. For Aaron Rodgers, only his second completion. Both have gone to Jordy Nelson. As the first quarter comes to an end here in Nashville, all Titans. They lead the Packers by 21.
231 yards of offense. The yards per play is still unbelievable by the Tennessee Titans. This Packer team has been ambushed by the Titans here at the start of the first quarter.
Green Bay 26 yards of offense, 1 first down. This is Starks. First play of the second quarter.
Now, I was down 21 in the first quarter at 1.2. Unfortunately for us, it was a championship game against the San Francisco 49ers. The rallying call is basically, listen, we've got plenty of time. So there's 40 minutes of game time left for the Green Bay Packers. They are an explosive offense. They can get back into this game, but they have to play so much better than they have at the start.
Catch is made by the tight end Richard Rodgers. In that game back in '86, Giants led the Packers 21-0 after the first quarter. Phil Simms was the Giants quarterback. Not sure how many people would have had Randy Wright as the Packers starter at QB. Second down and 6 off the fake to Starks. Rodgers throws, and the catch is made for a first down into Titans territory. It is Devontae Adams, and Rashad Johnson remains down. Now back up onto his feet.
Rashad Johnson just getting back into the lineup, and the officials having him come off to the sideline.
Johnson, first season with the Titans, 7 years, a member of the Arizona Cardinals. 1st and 10 from the Tennessee 43. Kevin Byard in for Rashad Johnson. Byard with the sack of Aaron Rodgers back in the first quarter. James Starks. And Starks will pick up another Packers first down to the Titans 32. Starks in his return missed the last 4 games. Picks up 11.
And it's so important to have one of your featured guys in there. Eddie Lacy obviously out, and then James Starks goes out at the same time. So for Green Bay to try and run the football, they had to get very creative with that. So now he's back in the lineup. I think he's getting more touches than Mike McCarthy anticipated giving to him at this point. He talked to us about somewhere right around 10 for the game.
More first downs for the Packers in the second quarter than the first. Adams, another Packers first down. Devontae Adams with back-to-back games, 13, 12 receptions, then 4 last week. Adams picks up 17.
And there's some of that emotion that this offense is going to need desperately. Guys to step up and make plays, to start playing with that emotion, get everybody back in line. You started out, you had a horrible first quarter, but there's time to get back into this game. Just start doing your assignment, start doing your job.
1st and 10 from the Titans' 15-yard line. 3 receiver set, Adams slot to the right. Rodgers to Randall Cobb. Cobb shoved out of bounds at the 7 as we check in with Laura.
We see how fast his offense can get going. Randall Cobb brought the offense together before they got on the field for this drive. He told them, I need every one of you. Every one of you. When we get going, we cannot be stopped. We need to get it going, Kenny.
That's important because TJ Lang, the other guy, when you talk to Aaron Rodgers, well, he said he's not a rah-rah guy. Well, who would those guys be on the offense? TJ Lang is one, Randall Cobb the other. TJ Lang out with that ankle injury.
2nd and 2, it is Cobb again. And Cobb takes it all the way down to the Titans' 1-yard line.
Almost able to spin out of this one and get down and break that plane at the goal line. Being able to roll on top of the defender, Avery Williamson.
Aaron Rodgers 5 for 5 on this drive. 9th play upcoming. First and goal from the Tennessee 1. Rodgers throws, end zone. Now there is a flag. Adams unable to come down in bounds.
I saw an offside signal. So you wonder if the defender, kind of on a jump press type thing down here in the red zone on the outside.
Rodgers throws, Nelson, touchdown. On the slant, Packers are on the board.
This is becoming one of those plays in the big, tight red zone area when you get these stacked releases at the top of the screen. Puts a lot of pressure on a guy like Aaron Rodgers, quick play action, but you're going to sneak Jordy Nelson in behind Randall Cobb right there as he pushes up. Puts a lot of pressure on those defenders to be able to match in coverage.
A touchdown of the season for Jordy Nelson. 7 have come in the red zone, which leads the league. The Rodgers perfect 6 of 6 on the drive for Green Bay. The extra point from Mason Crosby is good. Impressive drive for Green Bay to start the second quarter.
Be the preferred mode of transportation during the course of the weekend.
Yes. Always fun to travel to Nashville, and thousands of Packers fans have taken the opportunity. But their club trails 21-7. Titans will start from their 25-yard line. 7 salute to service weekend here in Nashville.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love the flyby. Usually you get the jets. We had some helicopters today, and there's a great tribute to his sister, Mike Daniels, with the cleats on for his sister Jenica Smith. 20 years of service in the Air Force.
Here's DeMarco Murray. Although Mike did tell us his sister is a New York Giants fan.
Yeah, but you know, that's back in the day when the NFC East was the top division of football, Kenny. So it's hard not to be a Cowboy, Redskin, Giants, Eagles fan, even Arizona Cardinals at that time. But I think it works out great. He was so disappointed because last weekend was the Packers salute to service, and he thought he missed the opportunity. But Tennessee was doing it this weekend for him, so he was able to pay tribute to his sister.
Second down and 4. It's Walker, and he gets wrapped up by Blake Martinez. Yeah, Daniel's old school. Love talking to you about your Cowboy days, and he said, I still watch film of the late 80s, early 90s Philadelphia Eagles on my iPad.
Oh, that defense was so good, and it was really, really enjoyable talking to him about those days and talking about Eric Williams and Larry Allen, you know, offensive linemen that he watched. Just battles, unbelievable battles with those defenses of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Mike Daniels, a real student of the game. 3rd down and 3. Titans are perfect 3 for 3 on 3rd down today. As Mariota throws, make it 4 for 4. DeMarco Murray doing it all in the first half for the Tennessee Titans. A 75-yard touchdown run, a touchdown pass, and now a reception for 36 yards.
That's just a simple play. He's just coming out of the backfield to the outside, and you get caught up in the wash there. Morgan Burnett tries to go underneath. No, I'm sorry, it was Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas tries to go underneath. You got to bubble over the top. If you bubble underneath, DeMarco Murray has already got you out leveraged. So Joe Thomas in that situation needed to bubble over the top.
Murray with 129 total yards. 1st and 10 from the Packers 32. Mariota throws. He's looking for Matthews. And Rashard Matthews makes the catch for a Titans touchdown.
Well, if you're gonna win a football game, if you're gonna dig yourself out of a 21-0 hole, you have to have all 3 phases start to play at a high level. Offensively, they go down, get 7 points, but their defense comes out and allows Tennessee to stretch it right back out to a 21-point lead again. Big plays have been the Achilles heel for this Packers defense all afternoon.
The salute from Rashard Matthews. 32-yard TD reception. Titans are over 300 yards in just over 21 minutes. The extra point is good from Ryan Suckup. 4 Tennessee possessions, 4 Tennessee touchdowns. On Salute to Service Day here in Nashville, the Titans now lead 28-7. A couple of touchdown passes for Marcus Mariota. 6th straight game with at least 2, and that ties the longest streak in franchise history. Warren Moon back in '87. DeMarco Murray matching Earl Campbell's franchise record earlier. And now Mariota and the great Warren Moon. Well, Fox Sports supports Your Grateful Nation is a nonprofit corporation dedicated to the support of U.S. combat veterans and their families during and after their transition from the military to civilian life. This includes employment transition services, paid internships, cooperative education, and family stabilization support. Great to see all the troops here today, watching the Titans and the Packers. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers start from their 25, trailing 28-7. James Starks on first down. There is a flag as Starks is out across the 40. Gain of 16 on the Packers' first down, but
holding number 69.
It's coming back.
Offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Second penalty committed today by David Bakhtiari.
And he should be kind of away from the play. He's all the way onto this side. Handoff is on that side of the field, but he's got a defender crossing his face back inside. So just, I don't think James Starks is going to get a whole lot of yardage if David Bakhtiari doesn't throw that defender to the ground.
If you join us late, the Tennessee Titans have scored touchdowns on each of their first 4 possessions. They have stunned the Packers here in the first half. Davante Adams makes the catch. Adams across midfield and is finally brought down inside the Tennessee Titans 40. He was ruled down at the 39 before the ball came loose. A 46-yard catch and run by Adams.
But watch 20 Parrish Cox play this after the catch. It's on the back shoulder to Davante Adams. He gets completely turned around. And again, there's some extra yardage after the catch using poor technique on the outside. If Davante Adams has the breakaway speed, that's a touchdown.
For Adams, his longest reception this season. Quick out to Jordy Nelson. And Nelson with a nice move has another Green Bay first down inside the 25 of the Titans.
Parrish Cox again. Just Jordy Nelson, watch him. He's going to freeze him up. Puts him right onto the ground.
So Rodgers has now completed 8 consecutive pass attempts after starting the game 2 for 6. 60 yards on their last 2 plays after the early struggles. From the Titans 24. It is Nelson again. Jordy Nelson knocked out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Gain of 8 on his 5th catch today. Returning from the knee injury, which cost him the entire 2015 season.
Yeah, kind of the leader in that wide receiver group. A wide receiver group that Aaron Rodgers was very, very complimentary of.
Second down and 2. Guess who? Jordy Nelson for a Packers first down. Inside the 10, it will be 1st and goal from the Tennessee 9.
And unfortunately for the Tennessee defense, you cannot relax. You are up 21-0. Aaron Rodgers brought them right down the field. Your offense goes back out, stretches it back out to 21 at 28-7. Here comes Aaron Rodgers right back down the field again. So you've got to finish this. You're going to have to go 60 minutes against this offense. They have the ability to bring the Packers back into this game. Their defense needs to help out if they get to 28-14 after this series.
Rodgers has now completed 11 straight. Starks. Penalty flag.
Holding, 65 offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Lane Taylor flagged for the 2nd time today.
And we talked about Green Bay being the #1 rush defense in the NFL, but this Tennessee Titans group up front, they're pretty stout as well. And an offensive line that Mike McCarthy said maybe one of the better ones that he's had as a head coach with the Green Bay Packers. They're struggling a little bit with this Tennessee Titan front.
First and goal from the 19-yard line as the Packers set up the screen to Starks. Well, it did not fool Jarrell Casey.
You know, Jarrell Casey is kind of a big run stuffer inside, pushing that pocket. He shows some real nice athleticism right here, recognizes the screen on the outside. Good pursuit to go out and disrupt that to James Starks.
Under 5 minutes to play, second quarter. Second and goal from the 23-yard line. Rodgers complete. Working his way down to the 11-yard line as the tight end, Richard Rodgers, for a gain of 12.
A nice job getting a big chunk of that back, about half the distance you had to go for the touchdown. Trying to dig themselves out of that hole that they created with the holding penalty.
13 straight completions for Aaron Rodgers. One shy of his career high. Set over a 2-game stretch back in 2011.
Here's Jordy Nelson here in the slot.
Rodgers on third and goal. Throws. End zone broken up. Parrish Cox getting a piece of it. Pass intended for Jordy Nelson.
Trying to work that double move. You see this a lot. It's kind of that post corner post move. Watch Jordy Nelson on the inside right here. He's going to push it up, break out, break back in, and then trying to get across the face of Parrish Cox. So Parrish Cox, who gave up a couple of big plays during the early part of that drive, makes a nice play in the end zone there.
So here's Mason Crosby out to attempt a 29-yard field goal from the right hash. His kick is good. Under 4 to play, second quarter in Nashville. It is now 28-10 Titans. Late second quarter in Nashville. Kenny Albert, Darrell Johnston, Laura Oakman. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers trailing by 18. Titans have scored on all 4 of their possessions. First and 10 from the 25 for Marcus Mariota and the Titans.
Well, we talked about DeMarco Murray in the run game. The other player that the Packers had to worry about was Delanie Walker at tight end, and they have not been able to keep him under wraps at all here in the first half. Been very physical after the catch, and it's just been a handful for that Packers secondary. Now, the offense has had 2 nice drives in a row. They seem to have steadied themselves down. This defense has to make a stop here. Can they get the offense back on the field before this first half ends?
4th career 100-yard game for Delanie Walker. This is Henry. And Derrick Henry has a first down and more.
I really like the way that Mike Mularkey is building this team, putting his stamp on it. Interim head coach last year, has the offseason. There's been a lot of change here. One of the more important ones, in my opinion, bringing in Russ Grimm as your offensive line coach, one of the hogs from the Redskins back in the day. There's a mentality, there's an approach with this offensive line. You commit to it through the draft. You go out and bring in Ben Jones to solidify your offensive line at the center position. Just a nice job of getting that run game, that offensive line back on track.
Henry gained 19. There he is again. This time just 1 as we head to Los Angeles for a game break. Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kenny. Minnesota at Washington under 2 minutes in the first half. Minnesota down 14-7. Sam Bradford to Kyle Rudolph for that 20-yard score. The Vikings got the ball back inside the 5 with 14 seconds left. Kenny, Darrell, and Laura.
Thanks, Carissa. Vikings won their first 5, have lost 3 straight. Sam Bradford's numbers against the Redskins. When you talk about that Titans offensive line, doing it without their left tackle, Taylor Lewan, who was ejected back in the first quarter. 2nd and 9. It's Henry. So the Titans now facing a 3rd down and 10 as the Packers use a timeout. Their second, stop the clock with 2:38 remaining.
And let's not forget, they lost Jake Ryan early in the game on that special teams play. Now, the way the NFL is today, a middle linebacker, you know, if he's not a coverage guy, one of your nickel participants, you know, maybe he doesn't get a lot of snaps. But Jake Ryan was your leading tackler. You're going up against a run-based style of offense. What Terry Robisky and Mike Mularkey are doing here is building this offense off of a run foundation. So losing a guy like Jake Ryan early on, it was a tough hit for this Packers defense.
They lost him before. The Packers defense He's even out on the field.
But you got to have your guys on special teams. Special teams is the third part of the game, third part of the team.
Mariota on third down looking for Walker. And he took a hit, unable to make the play. So the Titans will punt it away for the first time today.
Real nice play by Kentrell Brice. This is a great throw by Marcus Mariota. Watch him drop this one in over the top of Joe Thomas, and watch coming in from the right there. Almost an opportunity for an interception for Kentrell Brice.
First incompletion. Mariota had started the game 10 for 10. Brett Kern back to punt for the first time. From his 35-yard line, Trevor Davis is deep for the Packers. And he called for the fair catch. Then bobbled the football. Some more extracurricular activity, and a flag has been thrown.
What we're seeing here today is a lot of guys with the emotion, post-play.
Titans recover following the muff.
It's going to be a tough catch right here for Trevor Davis. He comes up. He feels the pressure around him. And it looks like LaShawn Sims came out of the pile with it. He was down there battling with Trevor Davis. So definitely on the ground. Now watch 36 come in here, right there. There's LaShawn Sims. He's the one that walked out with it. So the defense finally makes a stop here for the Green Bay Packers, and special teams gives it right back.
Recovery by Tennessee. Personal foul. Number 51, Green Bay. Pulling players off the pile. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
That's on Kyler Fackrell.
And this was a point of emphasis a couple years ago in the NFL. You cannot pull anybody off the pile. Didn't see him pulling anybody off, but did see him kind of having some issues with some of the Titan players there as he was getting up.
There's Trevor Davis, who turned it over. So the Titans get the ball back with 2:22 on the clock at the Green Bay 12-yard line.
Mike McCarthy wanting to have a conversation with the officials. I think he's got kind of the same question that we were talking about at the end of that play, pulling players from the pile, which is definitely a point of emphasis a couple of years ago. But we saw Kyler Fackrell just having a little bit of trouble getting up, bumping into some guys.
First and 10 from the Packers 12. Off the fake to Murray. Mariota throws it away.
Well, they've been working with him on the importance of not turning the ball over, how precious every possession is during the course of the game. You just saw what happened to Green Bay, forfeiting an opportunity for possession there with the fumble on the punt. So Marcus Mariota has done a nice job here in the first half with some of his decisions. Instead of trying to fit balls into tight spaces, just throwing it away. Lining up, let's snap the ball and try again on second down.
12 turnovers leading into this game for Mariota. Three receivers to the right. Mariota runs left. He's inside the 10, slides to the 5.
And that situation there, might as well just go head first. You're in the middle of all that traffic. You get a little bit of protection when you slide, but I think you're going to have a couple guys committed, and you're going to take a hit anyways.
We have hit the 2-minute warning in Nashville with the Titans leading by 18. Go to itunes.com/NFL. 2 minutes remaining, second quarter. Marcus Mariota with a perfect passer rating today.
Well, the offense has been almost perfect today.
3rd down and 4 for Tennessee. Mariota rolling right. He throws. Touchdown. Kendall Wright. 3rd touchdown pass of the first half for Marcus Mariota as the Titans capitalize on the Green Bay turnover.
I really like the last 2 play calls. You're sitting there 2nd and 10, and you go cold quarterback run down in the red zone. So you kind of even everything up. Now get Marcus Mariota out on the edge with Kendall Wright right there. Gets it inside the pylon for the touchdown.
All scoring plays are reviewed. Ruled a touchdown on the field. 3rd of the season for Kendall Wright, who celebrated his 27th birthday yesterday. Touchdown has been confirmed. 6 possessions for the Titans, 5 touchdowns. So the Titans hit 35 points for the 3rd straight game. First time in franchise history they have done that. The muff by Trevor Davis leading to this. All Titans here in the first half in Nashville.
To 35-10.
Highest scoring first half for any team in the NFL this season. Last time the Titans scored 35 in the first half, week 1 last year at Tampa Bay. And remember, Tennessee will get the football to start the second half. But first, it's Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. They have 1 timeout and 1:55 on the clock.
They've just been under pressure this entire first half to generate points on every series.
Packers recover the onside kick on the opening kickoff, went 3 and out, punted 3 times in the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, a touchdown drive, and a drive which ended with a field goal. Had the opportunity to get the ball back, but the muff punt gave it right back to the Titans. Nice catch by Jordy Nelson, with Parrish Cox defending.
Yeah, I just don't know if you can defend this. I mean, Parrish Cox is in perfect position, but this is 2 guys that have done this too many times. I mean, that's just, I don't know how you defend that, Kenny. That's just tremendous chemistry between Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson.
15 completions for Rodgers, 7 have gone to Nelson. From the 43-yard line on first down. Rodgers, far side. Incomplete. He was looking for the rookie out of Illinois, Geronimo Allison.
I sure can just roll wide receivers out too, can't they? You've got the guys, I mean, everybody knows Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams really kind of grown into his role. Randall Cobb, Jeff Janis, Ty Montgomery, Trevor Davis, Geronimo Allison. This is a very, very deep wide receiver group with some good skills.
7 wide receivers active, which is very unusual in the NFL. Second down and 10. Rodgers on second down, looking for the tight end, Richard Rodgers. Incomplete. The Green Bay Packers at 4-4. They've lost 2 in a row, and they trail by 25.
Coming off that traditional tight end spot. Jordy Nelson going in, coming back out.
Rodgers on third down, complete to Devontae Adams. Adams takes it inside the 20 to the Titans' 19-yard line as the Packers hustle downfield, 38-yard pickup.
Nice job by Richard Rodgers. Watch him come in from the right side right here. Pass is made. Just a little wall off there. Allows Devontae Adams a couple more yards after the catch. Well, they lined up and got that snap quick on a critical down.
Now they huddle up. Clock continues to run. We approach 1 minute remaining. Packers in the red zone for the third time this quarter. They've come away with 10 points.
Devontae Adams in the slot here. He's been the guy this afternoon.
From the 19 on first down. Rodgers to the outside. It is Adams. Broke a tackle and then gains a few more yards after he broke free from Rice McCain's 6-yard pickup.
He's been a handful in the secondary for this Tennessee Titans defense. And again, a lot of it after the catch.
5 receptions for Adams. He's got over 100 yards. 51 seconds remaining. Second down and 4. Rodgers on second down. The screen to Starks. And James Starks takes it in for a Packers touchdown. That was quick.
That's the scary part about this Packers offense. You know, when they hit their stride, get into that rhythm, they're tough to defend. And again, we talked about this earlier. Yeah, it's been a 21-point deficit a lot of the time. Now it's at 25, but you know, this Titan defense cannot rest. I mean, there's just too much athleticism on that field. That's great vision, great open field running by James Starks. I thought they had him hemmed up on that screen. It was not going to go very far.
First touchdown of any kind for Starks this season. Chance of go Pack go.
Oh boy.
As the extra point is no good. Wide to the left, and for Crosby, that's only his second miss since they moved the extra point back last season.
He was pushing it earlier. We saw one going in on the right upright real close, and that one he pulls wide left.
Usually automatic. So it's a 19-point game with 43 seconds remaining. A look at what's coming up at the half.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, the Chiefs try to make it 5 wins in a row as they take on Cam and the Carolina Panthers. The Texans look to stay atop the AFC South. We'll also preview that big Dallas and Pittsburgh contest. So make sure you come back and join me and the guys on the Visa halftime.
All right, Kurt, we look forward to it. America's Game of the Week. Coming up following this one, Cowboys and the Steelers. There's James Starks returning after missing 4 games due to the knee injury.
There we go. That's what you need, that, right?
And we talked about the touchdowns allowed by the Packers at the end of halves. Perhaps they gained some momentum by scoring themselves. Here's Mariani, who takes it out across the 40. The Titans with 37 seconds and all 3 of their timeouts. Marcus Mariota with a big first half, already has thrown for 3 touchdowns and over 200 yards.
I like the approach by Ron Zook on that. You know, you kind of do one of those high kicks, you know, take a little bit of time off with the kickoff return, but then you don't execute the coverage properly. You let Mariani come all the way out to the 40-yard line, 41-yard line.
Mariota on first down, complete into Packers territory. It's Sharp. Gain of 14 as the Titans use their first timeout.
Tennessee, their first 30-second timeout. Reset the game clock to 31
So the
seconds.
Green Bay Packers with a late touchdown, but now the Titans with an opportunity at the Green Bay 45 with 2 timeouts.
And I like the aggressive style of play that Mike Mularkey's continuing to use here in the first half. Starts the game with a surprise onside kick. Very easy for him right now, kind of just, let's get into halftime. We've had a great half. You get a nice return on the kickoff, and boom, you're right back into that aggressive mode with Marcus Mariota, who's played exceptionally well here in the first half. So he talked about it being a statement game. He knew there were going to be a lot of Packer fans here this afternoon in this stadium, and I love the way that he has called this game. It's been aggressive from the start, and his guys have responded.
The Titans team that has struggled at home. Only 4 wins in their last 21, 3 of the 4 coming against Jacksonville. As that pass pops in and out of the hands of Wright, who scored the last Tennessee touchdown. Titans with 5 first-half touchdowns, including one on each of their first 4 possessions.
And then the one punt that they had, Trevor Davis ended up muffing that punt, giving them the ball right back.
Right. 2nd and 10. Mariota looking for Matthews, incomplete. Over 600 yards of combined offense in the first half.
Yeah, not a whole lot of defense out there this afternoon, Kenny.
51 points. DeMarco Murray with the 75-yard touchdown run. Seems like hours ago, and then he threw a touchdown pass. Garrison Hurst, Arizona, back in '94, the last running back with a rushing touchdown and a TD pass in the first quarter. More flags.
Delay of game, defense. Number 21. Movement that caused the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
I miss the old days, Kenny, when the offense was supposed to sit in that situation. You just didn't move. Kind of still trying to get in the flow of this neutral zone infraction, pointing, jumping in. We were just told to sit in.
That's it. 3rd down and 5. Mariota can't find anyone. Moving to his left. And then he throws it out of bounds with 14 seconds on the clock.
He's probably had 3 decisions here in the first half when things have been breaking down, and I like the decision that he has made. He has not tried to force anything. He understands how important it is not to turn the football over. You've got a great lead. You're in control of the game. Just get outside the pocket, get it beyond the line of scrimmage, and line up for the next play.
Which will be a Brett Kern punt.
Timeout.
Titans now use their 2nd timeout.
30-second timeout.
Well, it looks like they're bringing the offense back on the field.
So Mike Mularkey using a timeout to make his decision. Coming up Tuesday night, college basketball action returns to FS1. A Big Ten Big East showdown. The Gavitt tip-off games. Maryland and Georgetown. And then Wisconsin takes on Creighton. The excitement begins Tuesday, 6:30 Eastern on FS1. Yes, Mike Mularkey has sent his offense back out. 4th down and 5 from the Green Bay 40.
Yeah, you know, go for the first down. You have guys there for the first down, or maybe even a shot into the end zone. Hold it a little bit longer. You might give Green Bay the ball back, or are you just inside that 5-yard where you're going to try and draw them off?
Right, you know the Packers have only 1 timeout. So Mariota on 4th down overthrows Murray. So with 10 seconds left, you give the ball back to the Packers with 1 timeout remaining.
He really missed Mariota there, or Mariota missed DeMarco Murray badly here. This is going to have an opportunity for a conversion and then out of bounds to stop the clock. I think DeMarco Murray is going to get the first down on that one, and then you might have the opportunity to take a couple shots into the end zone at the end of the half, at least one.
.602 combined yards in the first half. 2nd most in any game this season. Let's see, the Packers can only go 60, so they would fall 1 shy of the Saints and 49ers.
The way this first half has gone, it wouldn't be surprising.
10 seconds, 1 timeout. Unless they get a penalty here, then they can go 65 or 70. Rodgers spinning. There is a flag. No surprise. With 1 second remaining.
Started thinking about that throw he made in Detroit.
Richard Rodgers.
Yeah, when he sprinted out that way. I was like,
There's no foul on the play for offensive holding.
Flag has been picked up. So 1 second remaining. Rodgers gains 7 out to the 47. So we'll see if Rodgers and Rodgers can repeat history.
Well, Dick LeBeau has made his defenders well aware of what Aaron Rodgers can do at the end of the half. He had talked about that. He marveled at that throw by Aaron Rodgers in that game.
Final play of the half, barring a defensive penalty. Play clock winding down, and Rodgers will call timeout.
Timeout. Green Bay, their third and final timeout. It'll be 30 seconds delay.
We talked about that. Here it is right here against the Detroit Lions. You're buying your time, get out to the right side, but the throw, I mean, the height he had on this ball, drops it right in, and there goes Richard Rodgers up to get it. And then if that wasn't enough, he comes back and does it in the divisional round to Jeff Janis. I mean, just phenomenal. So yeah, Kenny, we could get that 60-yard touchdown drive here to get us up just 1 yard short of the most yards in the first half.
You know, every time I see that Richard Rodgers play, think about the fact that his dad, Richard Sr., was involved in the Stanford band play back in '82, now a coach in Carolina. 1 second remaining. Titans drop 3 defenders back deep. Rodgers spins, now sets, and throws. And it is deflected and picked off in the end zone. Bryce McCain comes out with it. So no miracle this time from Rodgers at the end of the half. McCain with the pick. 10th of his career.
This was awful close. This gets batted around quite a bit down here in the end zone.
McCain says, look what I found. For his Tennessee Titans, a 35-point first half against the Green Bay Packers. As we send you to Los Angeles for the Visa halftime report on Titans. Looking to throw, end zone, Walker, diving catch for a Tennessee Titans touchdown. Out of throws, he's looking for Matthews, and Rashard Matthews makes the catch for a Titans touchdown. That was today's excitement, brought to you by the new Nissan Titan. All Titans in the first half at Nissan Stadium.
Yeah, very impressive the way they started the game. I love the aggressive style that Mike Mularkey took to the start of this game. The onside kick to start the half, and he continued that all the way through the first half. So let's see if he follows that up, coming out here to start the second half just as aggressive.
Titans averaging 11 yards per play, and they started the game with a bang after forcing a 3-and-out, the 75-yard touchdown run by DeMarco Murray, and the Titans have not looked back.
They really haven't, and they can't, because this Green Bay offense is very explosive. We've seen that during times during the second quarter. You know, down 21, down 25. They can continue to come back. So I would expect to see Mike Mularkey, Terry Rubisky continue that aggressive style of play that they had in the first half. They know that they have to continue to put points on the board, that this Packer offense is very explosive, can get back into this game very, very quickly if they're not smart.
Marcus Mariota completed his first 10 pass attempts today. 12 of 18 in the first half with 3 touchdowns. Complete to Delaney Walker. That is his 7th reception as we check in with Laura.
I think Darryl might have heard Mike Mularkey's speech at halftime. I asked him, what was the statement first half? Because he was looking to make it. He said, everything we have, we are letting it go. But he told them in the locker room, we haven't learned to finish yet. Do not get complacent. We have 30 minutes left to do it. I asked him, all this trickery we've seen in the first half, will we see more? Looked me right in the eye and said, it's coming. It's coming.
All right, we shall see. 2nd down and 1. Here is Murray. And he loses a yard. Blake Martinez the tackle. So it will be 3rd down and 2 for the Titans.
Not a lot of carries in that first half for DeMarco Murray, but made the most of them and is putting up some good numbers there. 129 total yards in the first half. Also had the passing touchdown to Delaney Walker.
Only 5 carries, 94 yards.
Yeah,
not a bad
regular day's office. No, not at all. Just, you know, right around 19 yards per carry.
3rd down and 2. And Murray will not get there.
That's good job by the Green Bay Packers, because that first down play got them way ahead of the sticks, and that's some good defense on 2nd and 3rd down to force the punt here by the Tennessee Titans.
So the Titans go 3 and out for the first time. Brett Kern punting for only the 2nd time today. Micah Hyde back deep. Remember, Trevor Davis had the muff on the last one, which led to a Tennessee score. So it is Hyde, and he slides for the fair catch at the 22. So a good start to the second half by the Green Bay defense. A look back at the Hall of Fame career of the great Dick LeBeau, the Titans defensive coordinator, his 58th season in the NFL as a player or coach. Spent 14 seasons with the Lions from 1959 through 72. And he is an encyclopedia of the sport, the NFL. Rodgers going deep, looking for Randall Cobb.
Yeah, just an unbelievable opportunity to sit down and visit with him. And he's been involved with the NFL for so long, you forget some of the people that he played against. And you know, I was up in Syracuse earlier this week, and we were kind of touring the facilities, and you saw some of the lacrosse team pictures, and there's one of Jim Brown there. And, you know, Jim Brown, just a man among boys playing lacrosse back at that time. And, you know, I said to Dick LeBeau, could you imagine having to play lacrosse against him? He goes, you should try playing football against him. I played against him my whole career. And you just forget, you know, how long his career has spanned the NFL.
A coach since 73. 2nd down and 10. Rodgers to Nelson. He was the secondary coach for the Packers under Bart Starr 40 years ago, back in 1976. Now, we asked Aaron Rodgers about Dick LeBeau, and remember, Dick was the Steelers defensive coordinator when Rodgers and Mike McCarthy won Super Bowl 45, and Aaron Rodgers told us, I went back and watched film from that game this week to take a look at what Dick LeBeau wanted to do against us that day. Rodgers on the sneak.
My favorite one was Jason McCourty. You know, you're putting in a defense, you're installing a defense, and Dick LeBeau says, well, when I developed this defense, and Jason McCourty is like, I've been playing certain defenses since I was in high school, and my defensive coordinator is the guy that created that defense.
Right. Inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2010. He was a member of the 1957 National Championship team at Ohio State. And how about this one? 62 career interceptions, in the top 10 all time as they bring out the chains. And who are the 2 guys that he picked off the most? Johnny Unitas and Bart Starr.
Not bad.
7 against both.
Not bad at all.
And then he would coach under Starr. Rodgers just short.
Well, I thought it was great. You know, he still enjoys it. And we sat down with him. He's 79 years old. He doesn't look it at all. The conversation was fantastic, and he said, you know, I love game planning every week. It keeps me young. It's a challenge for me, and it's just great that he's still involved, and we have the opportunity to spend some time and visit.
So now his defense will try and stop the Green Bay offense on 4th down, 4th and inches for the Packers.
You talk about a big play here, down 19 at this part of the field. If Tennessee gets this stop.
Rodgers on the toss, it Starks, and James Starks will pick up a Packers first down out to the 37-yard line.
And we've been talking about Mike Mularkey and his aggressive play calling. There's Mike McCarthy And I really like the play call. Look at all those bodies getting out. That's old USC student body right.
Starks grew up in your neck of the woods, up in Niagara Falls. Rogers pass incomplete, looking for Starks out of the backfield. Laura.
I asked Mike McCarthy at halftime if he was as shocked as everyone else with how this game started. He said, I wouldn't say shocked. We put ourselves in this position from the onside kick on. Biggest thing defensively, he said, coming out, we have to play faster and tackle better. That will be fixed, he said. But here's the beauty of having Aaron Rodgers at your quarterback. I asked him about being down 19, and he said, we just need to go out there and make it a one-score game. We fully expect to win.
All right, thanks, Laura. 2nd down and 10. Play clock at 1. Rodgers spins. And now throws and finds Nelson. Out to the 43.
How do you make Avery Williamson miss in that situation? He comes clean, and he's right in Aaron Rodgers' face when he gets the shotgun snap. I mean, that's excellent feel and escapability out to the left.
Third down and 5. Packers must get to the 47 for a first down. Rodgers throws. Incomplete. He was looking for the tight end, Justin Perillo. Packers will punt it away. Or maybe not.
Yeah, who knows?
The Titans
still on the field.
The Titans have sent out
changing
their return man, Mariani, and the Packers leave the offense out on the field. Mariani hustles off, and a timeout has been taken by Tennessee.
And how many times have we seen Aaron Rodgers catch defenses with 12 on the field in substitutional situations? So, you know, they did not move. They left their offense on the field, and Tennessee made wholesale changes, taking their defense off, bringing their punt return team on, and the Packer offense lined right up. Because there was no substitution by the Green Bay Packers, they were allowed to continue to play at their speed.
Right. Mariani had dropped back deep to receive the punt. He hustled off. Laura mentioning Mike McCarthy told her, I fully expect to win. Well, if the Packers do win this game, it would be the largest comeback in franchise history.
An official had already, because the ball was laying on the field with Green Bay approaching the line of scrimmage, an official called a timeout. Therefore, Tennessee will not be charged a timeout. They'll have 3 remaining in the half.
So the Titans get their timeout back due to that loose football. Packers trailed by 25 in the second quarter. Largest comeback in franchise history was from 23 down. But still, a lot of time left. Jeff Triplett over for a conversation with Mike McCarthy, explaining why he awarded the timeout back to the Titans.
Yeah, they just have to be better with the mechanics. Jeff Triplett, you know, they got to be able to get that ball cleared off, because this is the style. You have to understand what Green Bay does situationally on plays like that. They're going to try and catch you. They're going to try and catch you and snap the ball with 12 men on the field. They're going to try and catch you transitioning in and out where you're not set, you're not lined up. That gives them the advantage. So Mike McCarthy not pleased that Jeff Triplett and his crew did not handle the mechanics of clearing that ball as well.
All right, here we go. Packers going for it on 4th down for the second time on this possession. They must get to the 47. Rodgers throws on 4th down. The catch is made by Adams. There is a flag out near midfield. Levante Adams makes the catch inside the Titans 20. And it looks like it's against Tennessee.
I love these types of plays because Tennessee comes out and they play man defense across the board. It's 4th and 5.
use the hands to the face, number 20 of the defense. That penalty is declined, resulting in the plays, first down.
But the read takes you to the top. It takes you up here to Davante Adams one-on-one in coverage. You've got Jason McCourty right there. Davante Adams gets by him. Hey, it's 4th and 5, but I still have to take that shot. What a great job finishing the play by Davante Adams. They're just making the plays since the second quarter. The Packers offense has been making the plays that they did not make in the first quarter.
35-yard reception, ball spotted at the 22. So the Packers convert twice on 4th down on this drive. And now Rodgers swings it out to Starks. And Starks is knocked out of bounds after a short gain. Picks up 2 to the Titans 20.
I don't think he's got a belt on these pants. Had to do a little bit of wardrobe malfunction adjustment at the end of this. Whoopsie.
That play of the drive coming up against Nick LeBeau's defense. As Starks shifts into the backfield. On 2nd down and 8, Rodgers steps up and takes off. And he will bring it all the way into the end zone for a Packers touchdown, and then took a late hit after he scored.
Again, I love the response by the Green Bay Packer team. You have to defend your quarterback in situations like this. I felt that Aaron Rodgers was going to make it in clean. We'll see where the hit is. It's close to the goal line. Now remember, we already lost Taylor Lewan in a similar situation. There's the hit right there. He is well inside. Parrish Cox with the hit. Davante Adams taken up for his quarterback. You're committed. I understand the game of football, but now here's what happens. You're going to have a response like this by the Packers. They're going to come after Parrish Cox to protect their quarterback. There's Davante Adams right away. Now remember, we talked about this in the first quarter when Taylor Lewan took up for his quarterback when they hit him on the neutral zone infraction. He ends up having a confrontation, makes contact with the official. He gets ejected. Jeff Triplett's crew coming into this game had 5 of the 10 ejections this season.
And 1 today. The officials have huddled up almost as often as the teams today. So Aaron Rodgers with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. Packers are within 13 pending the extra point attempt.
And they've got their
After
offense
the
on the
score,
field.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 20. Late hit on the quarterback in the end zone, which instigated the following things. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
So plays over right there, breaks the plane. Now you're going to talk about, was he committed to the hit? It's there. Jeff Triplett and his crew decide that Parrish Cox could have laid off, didn't need to take that hit on Aaron Rodgers, and then they determined that that starts everything else. Everything came from that, so no other flags were thrown, even though there was a lot of them on the ground.
Correction on the previous announcement. Correction, Green Bay has elected to take the half the distance to the goal on the try, moving the ball to the 1-yard line and going for 2.
So Mike McCarthy deciding to take the yard.
That is not something they can do. So we'll move it back to the 15 and penalize the 15 on the kickoff.
We need Mike Pereira, Kenny.
Mike, can you clean it up for Jeff Triplett?
From the 2-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you, you cannot, on a late hit after a touchdown, you cannot enforce it on the try. Yeah, you can in college, but we're not playing college football now. So it has to go over to the kickoff. So I actually like what they did, just have the one foul for the late hit on Rodgers in the end zone, but there's no way you can enforce that on the try.
All right, thanks, Mike. So the Packers go for 2 from the 2-yard line. They will enforce the penalty on the kickoff. Starks is stopped. So it remains a 13-point game following the touchdown run by Aaron Rodgers. Packers climbing closer. 4th down conversions. Packers have scored 12 unanswered points. A missed extra point and an unsuccessful 2-point conversion attempt. Second longest touchdown run for Aaron Rodgers in his career. And now the Packers will kick off from the 50. And they attempt the onside kick. Out of bounds. So we saw the onside kick at the start of the game, and now another.
Nice aggressive call, and this is made by Rashad Johnson. He's one of the guys up front. Watch 25 come in right there. He gets Micah Hyde. Micah Hyde is going to be one of the guys assigned. That's going to be on the cusp of being that 10 yards before Green Bay could have touched it, but nice job by Rashad Johnson making contact with Micah Hyde, taking that end guy out of the play. I think they may huddle more than the Packers offense, Kenny. I really do.
I would have to agree with you.
Offside kicking team. That 5-yard penalty will be added to where the ball went out of bounds. First down.
So excellent starting field position for Marcus Mariota and the Titans.
Because better matters.
Back in Nashville on Salute to Service Day. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Laura Oakman. Titans take over, leading 35-22. They had a 35-10 lead late in quarter number 2. From the 45, DeMarco Murray. Murray gains 4 as we head to Los Angeles for a game break. Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kenny. A ton of offense in your guys' game. How about this one? The Falcons, Matt Ryan, 76 yards to Taylor Gabriel, the longest play of the season for the Falcons. Matt Ryan now leads the NFL in touchdown passes. Atlanta is up 15-13. Kenny, Darryl, and Laura.
Thanks, Carissa. Falcons first place in the NFC South, looking to go to 7-3. Matt Ryan back home in Philadelphia. Second down and 6. Mariota swings it out to DeMarco Murray.
Boy, how different does this Packers defense look here to start the second half than they did in that first half. The pursuit to the football, the pressure on the quarterback.
Late flag thrown at the end of the play.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 76, defense, taunting. 15-yard penalty at the end of the play, first down.
That's part of his game, though.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Daniels.
Might not be taunting. He just calls it talking. He likes the mental side of the game.
That's the first type of foul that could lead to disqualification.
Yeah.
And one more foul under the new rule, under the unsportsmanlike conduct category, and Daniels would be ejected. From the 38, it is Murray up the middle. Gain of 3 down to the 35-yard line. One more note on Murray. The last non-quarterback with a 75-yard touchdown run and a passing touchdown in the same game. You have to go back to John Henry Johnson of the Eagles in 1960. And oh, by the way, they won the championship that year. Check out this formation. from the Titans offense. Mariota to Kendall Wright. And Wright is down at the 33-yard line. Nick Perry, the tackle.
Yeah, but that was a nice job by the Green Bay defense. And again, there's definitely a marked difference in this half compared to the first half, the way they were playing defense. And this is one of those odd formations. You got the big guys out there. That's not your traditional bunch set. You've got some offensive linemen out there trying to get it out quick onto the edge in a screen situation. Good pursuit inside out by the Packer defense.
Packers have gotten it back to within a 2-score game. 3rd down and 5. Mariota throws wide open, and taking it in for a touchdown is Tajay Sharp.
Definitely got dropped in coverage, trying to figure out. They're all huddled up trying to find out who dropped Tajay Sharp in coverage. He's at the top of the screen. Now remember, there's a little bit of breakdown with the protection right there. It looked like Quentin Rollins, 24, saw Marcus Mariota coming out on the edge. And then we got Tajay Sharp going to the ground. We had 2 flags thrown. So just we've had a lot of pre-snap. We've had a lot of post-play penalties today.
After the touchdown, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 19 of Tennessee, going to the ground in the celebration. 15-yard penalty to be assessed on the kickoff.
So
it's like our 3rd kickoff we've had from the 50-yard line.
So Tajay Sharp, who led the nation in receptions last year at the University of Massachusetts.
Tennessee has elected to go for 2.
It's Sharp's first touchdown in the NFL, and he winds up getting flagged. Titans going for 2. Two-point conversion. Mariota on the slant. No flags. Gunter on the coverage. Marcus Mariota with his 4th touchdown pass today.
Game last week, Detroit, Minnesota. That was unbelievable by Matthew Stafford and that offense to get that game into overtime and then to win it.
Montgomery on the return out to the 34-yard line. Aaron Rodgers completed 13 straight at one point back in the first half, has thrown for 289 yards and a pair of touchdowns. James Starks back in the lineup after missing the last 4 games due to injury. And another day at the office for Jordy Nelson.
Yeah, and some of these just, the chemistry between Jordy Nelson and Aaron Rodgers, some of these defenders, Parrish Cox, we've seen him a couple of times. I just don't know how you defend that.
Empty backfield for the Packers. Rodgers on first down, escapes the pressure, and now throws, and it's complete across midfield to the Titans' 49-yard line. Allison for a gain of 17.
And this is breaking down around Aaron Rodgers right from the start, just kind of sidesteps, resets, eyes down the field, and well done by Geronimo Allison at the end of this. Make sure you have that ball secure. The last thing, the thing that would be the killer, is to turn the ball over on a fumble right there.
From the Titans 49, Rodgers looking for Nelson. No flags with Valentino Blake on the coverage.
Real nice job by Valentino Blake in coverage, and he forces Jordy Nelson to kind of get back inside. He almost has an opportunity for the interception. Let's see when he gets his head back around to check everything. There he goes. Well done. Yeah, he's getting ready to intercept that ball, and watch Jordy Nelson come in and distract him a little bit. Great coverage by Valentino Blake.
Field judge Scott Edwards telling the Packers coaches to move back along the sideline.
10 seconds. 10 seconds on the play clock. Thank you.
Now we're set, 5.5 remaining, third quarter. Packers trailing by 19 as the catch is made by Montgomery, and a nice tackle. It's Blake again, Valentino Blake, who spent the last 3 seasons with the Steelers, bringing down Ty Montgomery.
Nice job. I mean, one of the things that you see a lot of offenses do today is get that one-on-one situation on the outside, see if your player can make a move, make a play against the defender to get a big play. Valentino Blake, good tackle there. We saw great coverage on Jordy Nelson earlier.
Third down and 7.
There's the potential for a true one-on-one down here with Davante Adams. But here's Valentino Blake waiting on him.
Rodgers throws on third down. It's complete to Nelson. Another flag. Nelson to the Titans 32 for a Packers first down.
Oh, and Davante Adams got dropped in coverage. He was beyond everybody.
Ego contact, number 25 in the defense. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is first down.
And David Bakhtiari's down. Now, he was slow getting into the huddle a couple plays ago. Here's the top of the screen here where they've got the bunch. Working it out of there. Jordy Nelson, that was the top. There's where everybody's focused to the 3 receiver side. Look at the bottom down here. They turn him loose. So TJ Lang out earlier in the game with an ankle. Now David Bakhtiari going off to the side. So right guard, left tackle.
Jason Spriggs, rookie out of Indiana, second-round pick, replaces Bakhtiari.
Now you got to be smart right now. You've got Brian Arakpo over there against Jason Spriggs. Make sure you give him a little bit of help. They put it tight. They've got Jordy Nelson tight. But as a back, anybody trying to chip to help going out.
So both backup offensive linemen in the game for Green Bay. Nobody left. On first down, it Starks to the Titans 29.
Smart job by Mike McCarthy right there. Let Jason Spriggs get in, get his feet underneath him, call a running play. Don't put him in a passing situation against one of their best edge rushers right out of the gate.
Starks gained 3, second down and 7. And now the Packers will huddle up. They headed to the line, and then Rodgers called them back. Play clock now at 10. Rodgers on second and 7. Quick release. It's Nelson. And Jordy Nelson is brought down by Kevin Byard. And for Nelson, a new career high, his 11th reception today. He's gone over 100 yards for the day. So has Davante Adams. Third down and 4. Packers must get to the 22-yard line for a first down.
Remember, left tackle Jason Spriggs just in. Yeah, there you go. Get James Starks on that side.
And the pass is caught by Cobb. Good second effort. And Randall Cobb has a Green Bay first down to the Tennessee 19 as Cobb gains 6.
Nice job by Aaron Rodgers getting James Starks moved to the left side. No sense for him to be offset to Brian Balaga's side.
Rodgers throws to the end zone, nearly picked off by Parrish Cox. There is a flag.
Randall Cobb, number 18, going straight up the seam. Parrish Cox coming off at Davante Adams to help out.
Defense, offside. The The 12th man did not get off the field, was in the backfield at the snap. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And this is one of the things we talked about earlier. You've got guys here, here, here trying to get off the field. And we talked about it in the first half with Aaron Rodgers. He's going to challenge you in your substitution packages to be efficient getting on and off the field. And if he feels like he's got that free shot, he'll take it into the end zone like he did there. There's nothing for him to lose in that situation when he catches you with 12.
First down and 5 following the penalty from the Titans' 15-yard line. Rodgers can't find anyone. Now he fires to the end zone, and it's incomplete.
Jason Spriggs does a great job in pass protection. We saw him move James Starks over there earlier to help him out. This time he does it all by himself. Gives plenty of time for Aaron Rodgers to work this pocket, trying to get the ball downfield as it breaks down. A little scramble drill there.
Intended for Adams. Cobb in the vicinity as well. Second down and 5. Nelson split wide to the left. Cobb slot to the right. Play clock winding all the way down, and now the play is blown dead.
Delay of game, offense, number 12. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
We saw the play clock hit 0, but sometimes they get the benefit of the doubt due to the hundredths of a second, which you do not see on the play clock.
Yeah, they'll give him that extra tick. It's not exactly when it goes to 0.
So the ball will be spotted at the 20-yard line. It will be 2nd and 10 for Green Bay following the 10th Packers penalty. Now Rodgers wrapped up, down he goes. Back at the 33-yard line, Brian Orakpo.
It's a different kind of rusher for Jason Spriggs in that situation. Prior to that, he was going against, bigger guys, more physical bull rush style. This is Brian Orakpo. This is going to be pure speed, coming around the corner. So James Starks has to go inside to pick up the blitz. So good job by Dick LeBeau. You offset the back to help out your tackle, but now you add a linebacker to the blitz. So James Starks has to take him. That puts Jason Spriggs outside one-on-one against Brian Orakpo.
Team leading 8th sack of the season, is first in the last 4 games. 3rd down and 21. Rodgers in trouble, stays on his feet, throws complete to Cobb. But he will be tackled just shy of the 20-yard line by Rashad Johnson.
Very close to being in the grass. We saw that called earlier in the game. Watch Aaron Rodgers. He's all wrapped up. He's still fighting. And again, there's that flip that Dick LeBeau talked to us about. He can make the throw off of any platform. Even when one of our guys has got his legs tied up.
Right, with Derek Morgan twisting Rodgers' leg. So here's Mason Crosby, 38-yard attempt from the left hash. Jacob Shum is the holder. Crosby's kick from 38 is good. So the Titans lead is now 41-25, late 3rd. And once again, it's a 2-possession game, 16-point Tennessee Titan lead. Under a minute to play, 3rd quarter. Crosby's kickoff will not be taken out by Mariani. Titans will start at their 25-yard line. In honor of Veterans Day, for every point scored during the NFL's 32 Salute to Service games, the league will donate $1,000 to its military nonprofit partners, including the Pat Tillman Foundation, USO, and Wounded Warrior Project. To join the salute and learn more, visit NFL.com/salute.
Getting a nice donation today.
Absolutely.
Got 66 already.
With over a quarter to go. 4 touchdown passes for Marcus Mariota. Mariota on the toss. And Murray is met by Clinton Dix as time winds down here in the third.
Yeah, the one thing I really liked about Marcus Mariota is his desire to learn the NFL game. He worked with somebody after he had graduated and declared out at Oregon to kind of fine-tune some of the things that he felt scouts would want him to be able to do at the next level, and continued to do that. And we've got a Green Bay Packer down, Ladarius Gunter. But he also reached out to Phillip Rivers, Phillip Rivers is one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL. He's a tremendous student of the game, a tremendous competitor, and Marcus reached out to him, and he was able to get out there on the West Coast and do some film work with him, do some mechanics and some footwork with Phillip Rivers, and then a little bit of carryover. There's also a little bit of carryover there because the former coach here, Ken Wisenhunt, was the coordinator out in San Diego before he came here, so also being able to speak the same language, kind of a similar system that they had.
Mariota also worked with Kevin O'Connell, who was a longtime backup in the NFL, including in New England under Tom Brady, and then went into coaching. And he certainly helped Mariota along as well. Half minute to play, third quarter, second down and 11. More flags. False start.
False start. Number 78, offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Right tackle, rookie out of Michigan State, Jack Conklin.
Now, one of those pieces that Mike Mularkey added, talked about really wanting to upgrade that offensive line, and they go and they get a tackle, and then they also bring in number 60, Ben Jones, from the Houston Texans in free agency, get Derrick Henry in the draft. So he wanted to build this offense off the foundation of a strong running game, and a lot of those pieces falling in place.
Titans looking to get back to the 500 mark. They are 15 minutes away as we head to the fourth in Nashville. 15 as we begin the fourth quarter. Second down and 16 for Tennessee from their 19-yard line. Mariota over the top. It's Delaney Walker, who had a huge first half, out to the 27, down to Laura.
I'll tell you what, the Packers have just had so many injuries throughout this whole game. It started early. TJ Lang, Jake Ryan, both ruled out, both with ankle injuries. We're watching Bakhtiari right now, who's come out from that last drive. They just put a brace over his right knee. Return questionable, but he's trying to get in. They've been working him out this whole time. He's been on the sideline.
All right, thanks, Laura. That Ryan injury came on an early punt before the Packers defense took the field. So they've been without their leading tackler ever since the opening moments. Mariota under pressure, and he's taken down by Morgan Burnett back at the 15-yard line.
Very lucky there, because I thought Marcus Mariota had gotten Morgan Burnett out-leveraged. Watch as he comes in. He comes unblocked, and he's inside a little bit. Thought the athleticism of Marcus Mariota was going to get him outside there, but that's a nice job by Morgan Burnett, hanging in there, getting enough to get Marcus Mariota down.
Third sack of the season for Burnett. More chance of go Pack go from the Green Bay portion of this crowd. It's Micah Hyde on the return. Packers with excellent field position in a two-possession game following the sack by Burnett.
It has been blue skies. The setting here in Nashville has been fantastic.
Country music on Friday night.
Absolutely. You have to when you come to Nashville.
Guess what?
Shocking.
False start, number 67 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's on Don Barclay, who replaced T.J. Lang at right guard back in the first half.
It's good technique getting out there, though. Just a little early.
1st and 15. From the 41, Rodgers on first down. And it's Nelson into Titans territory. Jordy Nelson brought down by Bryce McCain after a gain of 17.
Coming out of the slot. Getting upfield vertical. There it is again, that back shoulder throw. And nice jobs by James Starks as well. Kind of just an extra guy in the backfield. There was some pressure coming loose on the inside. He stepped up and took that on, gave Aaron Rodgers the time to make that throw.
Nelson's 12th reception, extending his career high. From the Titans 42, split backs. On the delay, it starts. And James Starks gains a yard down to the Tennessee 41.
Well, you can see why the Tennessee Titans are so high on Kevin Byard. It's just had a very nice afternoon, and they've got 4 safeties that they kind of just roll through. You know, that's a huge luxury when you talk about Rashad Johnson, Denoris Searcy, Damian Stafford, and Kevin Byard. You know, all getting quality reps during the course of the game.
Rodgers on 2nd and 9. Underneath. Incomplete to Randall Cobb. As we head to Los Angeles, Carissa.
Thanks, Kenny. Atlanta at Philly. Ryan Matthews, 5-yard touchdown run here. That would be his 2nd of the day. The Eagles decide to go for 2, so why not give it back to him? Successful there. The Eagles are up 21-15 at the 2-minute warning. Kenny?
All right, thanks very much, Carissa. Ryan Matthews' numbers against the Atlanta Falcons today in Philadelphia. 3rd down and 9. Rodgers moving to his right. Soft touch. He was looking for Nelson. Harris Cox defending.
Working on the outside. And this is just going to become an ad-lib here after a while. Harris Cox has help underneath. Little slip there, but is able to get back up. They only rushed 3 defenders, and it was a nice job because as Aaron Rodgers broke to the right and got outside, they maintained contain.
They maintained contain.
Maintained contain.
So the Packers going for it again on 4th down. They converted twice on an earlier drive. They must get to the Titans 32. Rodgers backpedaling. And now he throws, and it's dropped. Rodgers unable to make the catch. So the Packers turn it over on downs. Richard Rodgers could not hang on. And the Titans looking to get to the 500 mark. Tennessee only 4 wins at home over the last 3 seasons, 3 against Jacksonville, and the other against the Cleveland Browns. Mariota slides out to the 44 and took a hit.
Well, he slid, so he's given himself up. Now, Clinton Dix, if he's committed, even though he's committed, he can't hit him in the head, neck, or shoulder area. You still have that protection.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I mean, I understand erring on the side of safety, but there's also things that are just part of the game. And, you know, it's not like he came in and intentionally hit him there. It's kind of the legs dragging across the top.
Mariota gained 3 and then a 15-yard penalty. 1st and 10 from the Packers 42. Marco Murray, who started things off with a 75-yard touchdown run. How about this, Darryl? The Packers are actually outgaining the Titans, who was lopsided the other way after the first quarter. Green Bay now with 400 yards in Tennessee, 397 with America's Game of the Week coming up next, the Cowboys and Steelers.
Well, just big explosive plays for, you know, the Tennessee Titans early in the game. The 75-yard run. There was a 41-yard pass and catch to Delaney Walker. So, yeah, I think so, because it's been a methodical offensive approach by Green Bay since about midway through that second quarter.
Well, the Titans lead by 16 as Mariota goes deep. Pass intended for Sharp with Gunter defending.
I like the play call, though. You've got one-on-one on the outside. Take a shot. See if Tajay Sharp can make the play. Ladarius Gunter just needs to get that head around a little bit quicker. You're going to recognize by the actions of the receiver that the ball is coming in. Get that head around, track it, find it with your eyes.
Third down and 9. Mariota to Delaney Walker, and he breaks free, but he is still stopped short. About a yard shy of the marker after he broke away from Bryce.
Mike McCarthy coming out to start the second half said we've got to tackle better, and one of the reasons right there, Kentrell Bryce, if he can get Delaney Walker to the ground immediately, you know, you force a little bit longer field goal. You take away the opportunity for Delaney to even get that first down. Very fortunate right there.
So here is Ryan Suckup out to attempt a 51-yard field goal from the right hash. Kern places it down. Suckup from 51. It is straight through. Suckup hits from 50-plus for the first time in 3 attempts this season as the Titans extend their lead. Nashville, salute to Service Day. Tennessee Titans 21 points in the first quarter. Now lead the Packers 44-25. And for Green Bay, Darrell, this is the first of 3 consecutive games on the road. Primetime matchups in Washington, in Philadelphia the next 2 weeks.
That's a tough 3 weeks on the road.
Packers will start at their 25-yard line, trailing by 19 to Carissa Thompson. Carissa.
Thanks, Kenny. This is a heartbreaker if you're a Saints fan. So after Brandon Cooks' touchdown, the Saints would go up 1, but a block extra point. Will Parks recovers, which of course he then returns. It's worth 2 points. So Denver ends up winning this one 25-23. Kenny, Darrell, and Laura.
Wow. How about that ending?
That's unbelievable. It's one of those ones where you just relax a little bit. Oof. That'll be a tough one for the Saints to bounce back from.
Packers start from their 25, just under 10 minutes remaining. Rodgers on first down underneath, intended for Jordy Nelson.
So here's Jason Spriggs right here working against Carl Klug. Now that's a good matchup for him. They've had it a couple of times here, and he's done a nice job because that's just a bull rush. Now if Aaron Rodgers sees Brian Orakpo, Derek Morgan, kind of that more pure edge speed rush type guy, he's got to make some adjustments to help out his young tackle.
In for the injured David Bakhtiari.
He's got Orakpo there now.
On 2nd and 10, Rodgers in trouble, down he goes. Back at the 15-yard line.
Well, we get to see the sack on Rodgers, but that comes about because of the coverage down the field. Look at the job that the secondary does. They've got everybody kind of locked down. There's just nowhere for Aaron Rodgers to go with the football.
Derek Morgan along with Orakpo. Rodgers sacked for the 4th time today. 3rd down and 19. Rodgers directing traffic. Now sets and throws, and it's picked off. Paris Cox with his third interception of the season, the third Green Bay turnover.
I tell you, Aaron Rodgers, after he throws this, motions downfield like, why didn't you keep running? I'm not sure if it's Richard Rodgers here, but he and Randall Cobb are going to be in the area. They both kind of end up right there. There's nobody in that. It looked like they were trying to tier that, where either 82 or 18 needed to be further down the field. You can see how close they are right there. Somebody was incorrect. And there's the frustration from Aaron Rodgers.
So the Titans take over, just under 9 minutes remaining. The other Rodgers pick came on that Hail Mary just prior to halftime.
And this is why you want to build your offense on the foundation of a strong running game. Now right here, this Titan offense should be able to just take a big chunk of time off of the clock with 8:55 remaining.
DeMarco Murray is hit in the backfield by Jaron Elliott. And the Packers will use a timeout, stop the clock with 8:46 remaining. Coming up following the Packers and the Titans, America's Game of the Week. Dallas Cowboys 7-1. Pittsburgh Steelers 4-4.
Dallas has looked really good this year. Dak Prescott really infused a lot of positive energy. That offensive line is playing well. That's going to be a fun game to watch. Still the question mark about that defense. How do they do against the speed of the wide receivers of the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger?
Second down and 12. Murray. DeMarco Murray to the Titans' 42-yard line, setting up third down and 3 as Murray gains 9.
They can do a better job setting the edge and understanding what DeMarco Murray likes. He's going to press it up in there. This is designed outside. You get everybody in, and then nobody outside. Good job by Josh Klein getting outside with the kick out to allow DeMarco Murray to get back up inside.
Houston has defeated Jacksonville, so the Texans go to 6-3. Titans with a win would go to 5-5 on the season. Third down and 3. Mariota throws, and it's gathered in for a first down by Rashard Matthews.
I tell you, he's really starting to step up, Kenny. And when we talked to Dom Capers and they talked about this offense, a lot of it, you know, it's Delaney Walker and you know, DeMarco Murray is the top 2 receivers on this team. They needed that element on the outside. They need a wide receiver to step up and be a playmaker, and Rashard Matthews has done that over the last several weeks.
Spent his first 4 NFL seasons with the Miami Dolphins, 22-yard reception. New set of downs for the Titans from the Packers' 20-yard line. The handoff to Murray. Murray down to the Green Bay 17. So looking ahead for Tennessee, they head out on the road for a couple. At Indianapolis, at Chicago. Titans would go to 5-5 with a win. It would be the 4th time this season they hit the 500 mark. They were 1-1, 3-3, 4-4, but could never win that next game.
Yeah, they just can't. They can't get over that final hurdle to get above 500. If they're able to close this one out, he showed you that graphic. You know, 3 of the 4 victories here at home over the last couple of seasons has been against Jacksonville. The only other one, Cleveland. That's why this was a statement game by Mike Mularkey and his staff. This is a storied franchise. This was one of your preseason favorites to be there at the end of the season for the NFC, representing the National Football Conference in the Super Bowl. This would be a huge win for the Titans.
Titans won only 3 games a season ago. Mike Mularkey took over as interim head coach for Ken Wisenhunt. Maintained the job during the offseason. So 2 on the road, and then they're bye. They will not be home again until December 11th against the Denver Broncos. First and goal from the Packers 10. It's Murray.
That's another guy we got to give a shout out here for the Tennessee Titans. Dennis Kelly. I remember
Green Bay, they're second.
Taylor Lewan went out
30 seconds
early in this
timeout.
game. That's your starting left tackle. And, you know, they've been talking about Taylor Lewan. There's nobody in the NFL playing the left tackle position as well as Taylor Lewan. So,
He
I
was
mean, Dennis
ejected
Kelly
early.
jumps in here.
Yeah.
He's done a nice job. Really kept that left side of the offensive line clean for Marcus Mariota.
Luana ejected early in the first quarter, making contact with an official. Dennis Kelly, former Philadelphia Eagle, acquired during preseason back in mid-August, and he's done a nice job.
This is a team to watch. They really are. I really think that Mike Mularkey has done a nice job just in his first full year as a head coach of this team, creating a mentality, creating a certain style of play that he wants out there on the football field. A lot of change in the offseason. They kind of revamped the practice facility. There's new messaging on the walls. There's changes in the staff, changes on the roster. So I think a lot more than people realize. And again, we talked about this at the top, bringing in Russ Grimm. I really think Russ Grimm as the offensive line coach was something that was real important for Mike Mularkey, and it's really paid off.
Packers used their third and final timeout. Marcus Mariota with 4 touchdown passes today, matching his career high.
And the best thing, he's clean with the turnovers. Doesn't have a single turnover today. That's been the Achilles heels in his play. He's had some really nice numbers, has thrown a lot of touchdowns, but he's had some critical turnovers at times, a lot of those being returned for touchdowns.
Well, for those of you in the home markets of our late games, in a moment you will be leaving this one, and we will switch you to the start of your game. Third and goal for the Titans. Mariota moving to his left, and then he slides. Packers cannot stop the clock, so the Titans will let it run. Green Bay out of timeouts as Tennessee sends out the field goal unit. You've been talking about Mike Mularkey, and he's been a head coach with Buffalo, with Jacksonville, and we asked him on Friday, what did you learn from those situations? He says, I'm having a lot more fun.
Yeah, and I really appreciated that statement, because this is a grind, and a lot of times you get caught in the week-to-week, practice-to-practice mode, and you don't take time out to celebrate the little victories, to have a little bit of fun with your team, with your staff. So I thought that was a great point made by Coach Mularkey.
Suckup connects from 23. Small screen, stadium-sized content. Watch live local Sunday games on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. DeMarco Murray, first career pass attempt in the NFL. Never threw a pass in college. Hit Delaney Walker for the second Tennessee Titans touchdown back in the first quarter.
Quite evident on Friday afternoon going to his left that he had never thrown a pass in college.
They made the adjustment over the last 2 days, and it worked. Janis takes it out for Green Bay. And he will be tackled at the 20-yard line. LaShawn Sims with the special team stop. 4:47 left to play as Sims limps off, and we head to Los Angeles. Carissa.
Thanks, Kenny. America's game of the week about to kick off. Dak Prescott and the 7-1 Cowboys on the road to take on Ben Roethlisberger and the 4-4 Steelers. A great matchup here that is coming up next. Kenny?
Thanks, Carissa. We look forward to it. Cowboys have won 7 straight. Rodgers on first down, complete to Richard Rodgers. Byard the tackle. Packers out of timeouts, 4.5 remaining. Tennessee Titans, for the first time in franchise history, have scored at least 35 points in 3 consecutive games. As the catch is made again by Richard Rodgers, and again it's Byard who brings him down. Rodgers picks up a first.
That ain't going to get it done at this stage of the game. These short passes here. The Tennessee Titans defense will let Aaron Rodgers have that the remainder of the game, tackling him inbounds as well to keep that clock going.
Season high 371 yards passing for Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers in trouble. There is a flag. Sacked for the 5th time today.
Holding number Number 79, 78 offense. That penalty's declined. Second down.
What a day for Brian Arakpo.
Yeah, and Jason Spriggs has done a nice job, and they've just got to have more recognition on who's across from him. When it's Carl Klug or one of these kind of bull rushing style guys, he's done a nice job out there one-on-one. But Brian Arakpo is one of those elite edge rushers around the league. You got to give a young guy a little bit of help. Put a tight end over there for a bump. Give the back an opportunity to chip on his release.
2 sacks today, 9 on the season, 2 shy of his career high with the Redskins back in 2009. Second down and 18. Rodgers escapes pressure, now throws, and it is off the hands of the intended receiver, Trevor Davis. 3rd and 18 coming up for the Green Bay Packers.
A couple of big drops here. Richard Rodgers had one on 4th down. Trevor Davis has that one there. We had the miscommunication, the issue on the other 4th down when they were trying to get the ball down the field between Randall Cobb and Richard Rodgers on that play. Aaron Rodgers getting a little bit frustrated here down the stretch. That's why the 300-yard passing game doesn't mean a whole lot to me.
Rodgers on 3rd and 18. Adams attempted to make the adjustment. 4th down upcoming. Packers will punt it away.
Little double move there, stop and go, then to the back shoulder, and just a little bit out of sync. Been that way all day long. They had spurts, looked like middle of the 2nd quarter into the middle of the 3rd quarter. Maybe they were going to get back into this thing, but Tennessee never allowed them to get it to a 1-possession game.
Last time the Packers were under 500 after 9 games back in 2008, Rodgers' first season as a starter. 3.5 remaining as Rodgers takes a seat. We check in with Laura.
I want to buttonhole the conversation you guys were having about Mike Mularkey having so much more fun this time around. The big difference, too, he's making sure his players have so much more fun. He does things that he didn't do before. It's the basketball nut in the meeting room, surprise spelling bees, beer pong, but with kale smoothies, and bonuses and extra film work. He'll put a note over a play in the film the guys take home that will say, if you see this, come to my office and get a bonus. So he's rewarding them for the extra work. You've talked about all these old school coaches. What these players say is they know how to connect with this generation.
Great stuff. Thanks, Laura.
Wouldn't that just be kale smoothie pong, Laura?
I think so. There's Derrick Henry, and you talk about old school. How about the coaches Mularkey played for during his career? Bill Walsh, Bud Grant, Chuck Noll.
The physicality comes from Chuck Noll and what he learned there as a player with the Steelers. He wanted to bring that everywhere he's been. He's definitely on the right path to bringing it.
Is an eligible receiver. Number 71 is eligible.
Bringing it and building it here in Tennessee.
Second down and 8, under 3 minutes remaining.
Let's go, bingo.
Henry. Henry out to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, we sat down and talked to Coach Mularkey about it, and we used the term exotic smash mouth, which is what we thought he had brought it. And he said, now that goes all the way back to my days in Pittsburgh, and we had Antoine Randall, and we had a lot of gadget plays, but we also still had Jerome Bettis, and we were still running physically. So he's kind of let it come down here, and I think he's okay with it. I think he's fine with the exotic smash mouth here, because I think Marcus Mariota brings a little bit of that element. When you talk about, exotic offense, you're going to see some things that his athleticism at the quarterback position allows you to do.
Big day for Mariota and that exotic smash mouth offense of the Tennessee Titans. 2-minute warning. America's Game of the Week coming up next. Many of you will see the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Others, the 49ers and the Cardinals. America's Game of the Week on Fox. Third down and 3 for the Titans. 2 minutes remaining. Mariota goes down back at the 27. Well, Darrell, I know you are wondering when the last time a game ended with a 47-25 score. You've been looking it up feverishly during the last commercial break. And you have to go all the way back to 1940, the Chicago Bears and the Cleveland Rams.
My book only went to the 50s, so I was stumped. I think we're going to see some zany scores now with the 2-point. Look at the Denver one. Returning the block kick for 2 points.
And also due to the longer extra point attempt as Kern was hit. And then another flag. Yeah, another flag downfield as Hyde was hit by Valentino Blake. The punter Kern slow to get up. So at both ends of the play, first the punt and then the return. 2 players injured, Kern and Micah Hyde. There's the hit on the punter Kern by Joe Thomas, and then Blake on Hyde.
E-Networks, new Straight Talk Plus, only at Walmart.
There are 2 fouls on the previous play. Running into the kicker, Tennessee, number 47, Cretchen. Roughing the maker of a fair catch, number 47. Running into the kicker, number 48 of the defense. By rule, those penalties offset and will replay 4th down.
A little bit late by Micah Hyde on the fair catch, but Valentino Blake, he's got to keep his eyes, on that returner.
So now Davis back deep for the Packers. Kern punting it away once again. Davis from the 25.
Under pressure the majority of the afternoon. Aaron Rodgers had a tough afternoon, was never really to find that rhythm consistently. We saw spurts of it throughout the course of the game, but some injuries in that offensive line. TJ Lang going out early, Bakhtiari going out second half. Both of those guys did not return to the game, and there's Aaron Rodgers. Just keep him on the side today for the remainder of the game.
Sacked 5 times, so Brett Hundley in his 2nd season out of UCLA, 5th round pick last year, is in at quarterback, his first action this season. From the 37-yard line on 1st down, swings it out to Ty Montgomery. Under a minute remaining. Great job by our entire crew here in Nashville, led by producer Barry Landis, director Brian Lilly, associate director Joe Williams, broadcast associate Paul Marmero, technical producer is Sid Drexler, technical director Jared Legrani. Dave Corris crunching the numbers along with Rick Camps and our spotter Ben Bowman. 2nd down and 2. Hundley throws, and that's broken up. Intended for Janis. Jason McCourty getting a piece of it, 45 seconds.
It's a nice job by Jason McCourty, kind of matching Jeff Janis. Step for step, comes out of his break without allowing any separation, makes a play on the ball. Had a nice game this afternoon. The secondary for Tennessee really has done a nice job. This is a talented Packer offense. They never allowed them the confidence that they were going to get back into this game.
3rd down and 2. Pass deflects off Janis. Down to 41 seconds. Pittsburgh Steelers have taken the lead in America's Game of the Week. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Aaron Andrews coming up next. 4th down and 2. Hundley on 4th down. It is broken up. So the Titans will take over on downs with 35 seconds remaining. Tennessee will go to 5-5 on the season. Look ahead to a pair of road games at Indianapolis and Chicago. 2 more on the road for Aaron Rodgers and the 4-5 Packers next Sunday night against the Redskins on the road, and then the following Monday in Philadelphia. So a tough road ahead for Green Bay, under 500 after 9 games for the first time since 2008.
Yeah, that's 2 tough games in addition to this one here this afternoon for the Green Bay Packers on the road. And beginning of the season, you're looking at that tough spot in the schedule. You may think that this Tennessee game may provide the best opportunity in that 3-game stretch, but that was not the case today. Congratulations to Mike Mularkey, his staff, his players on rising to the challenge, what he called a statement game, going up against one of the storied franchises in the NFL and getting a nice victory.
What a job by the Titans. They scored 21 in the first. For Darryl Johnston and Laura Oakman, this is Kenny Albert. Coming up next, America's Game of the Week after this.